Now, from Daniel chapter 7, 1 through uh, Daniel chapter, uh, and make sure I get it. Daniel chapter 7, verse 1, it speaks of two vehicles used for war. One was the fighter craft that had them bombs attached to it, where it used the man to take and fly behind enemy lines and drop the bombs. That was the mound, symbolized by the lion having wings like an eagle. But when the wing was plucked, it made stand up like a man. This tells us the other was cruise missiles and any missiles that he used that carry explosive, high explosive in it. This is how it started, the war started. So by having a man's heart, it means it had a computer on board, which caused this to fly behind the enemy line. That's what they tell you. This is how the campaign of the war started. And with it, World War III started. This is how it began. God was telling us this here. Now, Daniel spake and said, I saw in night vision. Okay, let me go to verse 5, though. That took care of the first verse. Now, the second beast. And beheld another beast, and behold another beast, a second like a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Now, I want to stop right here. You have to be careful, and the reason I want to bring this up right here, because people try to interpret the Bibles who was not given to us. God had to give us these things. And some said he had 2, 3 tusks in his mouth. When you come and you change the Bible and don't know what you're doing, and you somebody changed and said they enhancing the Bible and use the word 3 tusks, then it changed the whole dynamic of the prophecy. It knocks it 360 degrees off. You can't, a complete reverse in what it talking about. But it said it had 3 ribs in its mouth. Well, what do 3 ribs tell you? A rib comes from the inside of something. It is the inner structure of a body. So in order for you to get one rib, you got to make a kill. So each rib in the mouth of this beast, which looked like a bear, counts as 1 kill. World War III, 1 was the first kill. World War II was the second kill. And World War III was the third kill. So this lets us know that the 3 ribs was between the teeth of this beast, which looked like a bear, had some similarity like a bear, was World War III that God was telling us about. And by him raising up on the side, we know no beast raised up on the side and walk on the side. So this beast, in order to travel up one side, had to be a beast of the water. So what this was, it was war vessels coming up out of the Mediterranean Sea, which travel by the way of water, which doesn't need feet to travel. So the bear, we know, feeds by the water the most of the time, which is the bear here. This is a warships, aircraft carriers, and the great warships down here in the Mediterranean Sea. The bear is the one he saw. That's when I gave you the symbol. The first one, I gave you the symbol of jet aircraft right here, which represents the lion with eagle wing. The second was the cruise missile that didn't need the aid of man, had a computer. That's what God told us. And the third part, this third symbol here is in the second beast, the bear having the ribs inside. We know bears feed by water a lot of times, where it was the aircraft carriers and all this. This was the beginning of World War III. Conducted by the man having a head of gold, breast and shoulders of silver, belly of brass, legs and iron, feet part iron and part clay. Now, let's go to verse 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. And the first recording, when Daniel was interpreting the dream concerning in Daniel chapter 2, the man of head of gold. He had the head of gold and the chest of silver, and the belly was brass. He said God gave dominion to the breast. And I said the breast was the commander in chief of the military, because we call these people's top brass when we was in the military. So this is consistent with what I said here. It's check, it's balances and checks right here. At this, another was like a leopard, which had upon his back 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. Let me show you what he's talking about. This one was like a leopard. He had 4 wings up on his back. Wings is what a fowl fly with. Flying. So these become 4 flying forces. I said the leopard represent a nation of people by all having many spots and none are similar. A nation having a makeup, a population makeup of many nations, many tongues. This is consistent with the United States of America, which is having the body of a leopard. Well, it said it had 4 wings. So the 4 wings represent 4 military flying forces. The Air Force have a flying force, the Army have a flying force, the Navy have a flying force, and the Marine have a flying force. And it said it had 4 heads. It have a commander-in-chief of the Air Force, a commander-in-chief of the Army, a commander-in-chief of the Navy, a commander-in-chief of the Marine. All of these are top brass. The head of these, who is the strategist for wars, who's over here, we call these top brass. The 4 heads, it takes you back there to Daniel chapter 2, where Daniel said the brass was given dominion, meaning these military fighting forces was going to gain dominion and win World War III through this military fighting force. It says, and dominion was given to it. When you go back to the Daniel chapter 2, and when he interpreted the dream of the man which had the head of gold, silver, and I said it was United States of America, I said the belly of brass was the gem, and it matches up with this. All of this have to match. And after this, verse 7, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet, and it was diverse from all the other beasts which were before it, which were there before it, and it had 10 horns. The 10 horns are the 10 horns. I said a horn is what a big ox or a ram fight with. So this was 10 military fighting forces. So this was 10 military fighting forces. 4 of the military fighting forces belong to Air Force, Army, Navy, and the Marine of the United States of America. So the United States have 10 horns. So you got 6 other horns right here, which belongs to the United States nation. So 4 of the horn belongs to the head of gold, and the 6 belongs to the 6 United Nations, which was fighting with the United States of America in this World War. So when you look at this part here, add these together, it was 7 United Nations fighting together here in this World War that God had his focus point on. These were the ground troops, which had, after the stomping out the residue, after the bombardment of these nations, the ground force moved in. Let's take care of 7